Before we get in the program, Holly, it's time for this week's Joke of the Week.
All right, so what is a snowman's favorite type of vegetable?
What is it?
A snow pea.
Or snow peas.
Snow peas, yeah.
Plural? Yeah. Okay.
All right, so what did the baby corn say to the mother corn?
What did they say?
Where's popcorn?
Like Papa?
Papa? Yeah.
This week's joke is brought to you by
Rescue.com. American-made rescue products to keep your family, home, and yard protected from pests like insects, wasps, hornets, yellow jackets, flies, ants, and more. Learn more at rescue.com. That's RESCUE.com.
Oh, well, vegetables that are easy to grow. Now, the quotations or asterisk to this conversation is all vegetables, fruit, and trees always are going to have the potential of having some type of issue, whether it's fungal, whether it's bug, whether it's disease, whether it's something. So with that asterisk, keep that in mind that there is no such thing as an easy vegetable to grow. There are conditions in which vegetables can grow much better than others, and we'll kind of touch on that a little bit. But there are categories of vegetables that are more simplistic to grow, that are less complicated or less maintenance required. We'll start with leafy greens. Leafy greens, typically you just throw the seed in the ground. You don't have to fight with necessarily a seed start, such as, let's say, leaf lettuce. You can start from seed your arugula. You can start from seed your basil, your rosemary, those type of things in the garden itself. Herbs, you can start inside from seed, so you can go either way. But leafy greens, any of your leafy greens are very easy to grow, cool crop.
Even most herbs, like you said, but rosemary is a little bit harder.
Herbs are a summer crop and will be killed by the frost. Leafy greens are cool tolerant. They can handle a light frost, but they don't like the heat or long days. But on both categories, they're easy to grow. Onions are not easy to grow in some instances because of soil density, soil nutrient deficiencies, and you may have selected the wrong day length of onion. Short day, neutral day, long day onion. The counterpart on that is an easy crop to grow that is similar to onions, which is leeks.
Yeah, leeks are very easy to grow. We start ours indoors, but would you have to? I guess you would have to.
It's best to get them established. Not necessarily, it's not recommended to throw the seeds in the ground per se for a backyard gardener. People do that, but I prefer to have the actual start. And then you can actually bury it deeper. People are conditioned to eat the white portion, or in the garden, or the bleached portion, the portion that does not get sunlight, and then discard the rest of it. That's simply not the case in other parts of the world. People eat, and we eat, the entire plant because it's all is a leek. You can chop it all up, put it in a stir fry, bake it, whatever. It's all a leek, and it's all consumable. There's no a throwaway part except for the actual roots themselves. And if you don't, if you're having challenges to growing onions, grow shallots. There's a many different varieties of shallots in which you can grow, but if you don't like to peel onions, you're not going to like shallots, because shallots, you plant one bulb and it will divide like a garlic clove does. And by the time harvest comes, you'll have that initial bulb, but you'll have 6 or 7 potential bulbs, small onion bulbs that are sweeter, but do take a lot of peeling in order to do such. We bake them in the oven.
Yeah, we roast them. So then you kind of just squeeze them out of the
skin.
Yep. The skin. Yeah, so shallots are an interesting one. I don't think a lot of people realize that shallots are easy to grow because they think that they're like fancy, and they are, I guess. They're a mild onion kind of flavor, and they're used in a lot of, I believe, French cooking, but they are easy to grow.
We talked about garlic. Garlic is very simplistic to grow. You grow it in the fall, and then you harvest it in the spring, late spring. For us, we plant it in October. We harvested it in late June, early July. So it's taking up a lot of real estate. But really, once you put the clove in the ground in October and cover it over and designate that area as the garlic bed, you don't have to do anything, hardneck garlic in our instance, until June, when you cut back the scapes, which is the external growth out of the top portion of the plant that, if left alone, will put a seed pod on and take energy away from bulb development Soft neck onions or soft neck garlic does not have the scape. They simply fall over like an onion when it's time to harvest. Hard neck garlic, you harvest the scape about 3 weeks before you decide to dig the plant up. And the indication of harvest time is the lower sets of leaves begin to die off. The whole plant does not have to die off in order for the time to harvest.
Right. And you don't want to leave them in the ground for too long because they could cause rot. And that's the biggest one, is that typically when you're harvesting garlic, there's a chance that it could be a rainier time of year. So you want to make sure you're not leaving them in the ground for too long. And you can also come back with another crop behind it. So depending on where you live. So what else do we have?
Radishes.
Oh, radishes. Yeah, radishes are easy to grow.
Early spring, late fall, takes 30 days to reach maturity. They are day length sensitive, so you kind of have to plan that. You can plant any of your cool season crops in a more of a partial shade location. So as the days get longer and the temperature gets warmer, they won't go to seed or bolt as quickly as they would if they were in open area, direct sunlight in your cooler time of year. So 30 days, you plant them from seed. Don't buy them at the garden center, the starts. Put them in the ground with the seed, and within 30 days, you've got your Easter egg radishes. You've got your red champion radishes. You've got
purple. What are they called?
I forget what royalty.
Yeah, something.
Ones. Many different varieties. Some of them do take some longer times, like the Mexican radish takes about 50 days versus the 32. Some are ready in about 18. So rapidly.
Now, these are not the daikon radishes.
No, the daikon radish are like the giant carrot ones that are you
these
see.
These are like I guess salad radishes.
They look like a little bit bigger. Well, they can get as big as like a ping pong ball. Yeah.
Yeah, so you want to keep that in mind. Just because it's a radish doesn't mean it's going to grow super fast.
And if you don't keep the water to them, they're going to get they're already kind of a little on the spicy side, but if the water does not get to them, they become spicier. And in order to combat that spiciness, clean the radish up, trim the top off, trim the roots off, throw them all in boiling water for 5 minutes, and that sucks a lot of the heat out, that spiciness out of the bulb of the radish bulb. Last one we'll get to here is beans. Now, bush beans, pole beans, you have the option there. Bush beans take 40 to 60 days to reach maturity. They're in a bush. Pole beans take 70 to 80 days to reach maturity. They can be vined on any type of vertical apparatus. And as long as you continue to harvest these beans in small pods size, they will produce.
Keep producing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Until frost.
Yeah, if you like beans, or if you want a crop that is going to be something to freeze or can, whichever one, the beans.
If you can them, you got to go pressure canning because they are not safe to water bath anymore. That's been changed for about 20 years. But
you will have beans aplenty. They just grow and grow and grow. And if you are like, I don't know what to grow, but I know I like beans and I like these other things. Beans are definitely something that you can keep doing.
Pole beans, you're going to get green beans, or they're green.
Yeah.
Bush beans, you have the option of wax beans or yellow, and royalty beans, which are purple. But when you cook the purple beans, they turn back to green.
Now, you can grow hard shell beans, such as like pinto beans.
Northern white kidney beans. Yeah, northern white beans, kidney beans, yeah.
What you normally find like in a soup or a stew or something, chili, whatever. Those are typically bush beans.
Yes.
But those grow prolifically as well. And I know a lot of people are these days eating more beans, eating more legumes, things like that, and definitely you could grow your own.
Walton's Inc. has some opportunities for you as well.
Yeah, we are brought to you today by Walton's Inc. We know you care about where your food comes from, canning, preserving your fruits and vegetables. At Walton's Inc., you can get waltonsinc.com. You can get all the equipment, seasoning and supplies to make sausage and jerky and any other meat product your way. Meatgistics.com is there to help educate people on the hows and whys of meat processing, as well as a community of 15,000 plus users who will give their opinion and guidance on meat processing issues. They have decades of experience in the meat processing industry. And they have everything, full line of meat grinders, mixers, sausage stuffers, spices, help you go from animal to edible. Walton's everything but the meat. You can use code GROW50, that's GROW50, to save 10% off your orders of $50 or more.